Good morning. So I am here with Rene. Good morning, Rene.
Good morning.
And during the month of June, it was Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of did some things on Facebook. We had a blog post that was out there that talked about, different things that we've got to do to protect our elders. And so today we're going to kind of build upon that, and we're going to have a face-to-face conversation, and Rene is going to share some different scams that we often see that elders are prey to, and look for different signs and how we can protect those of us around us that might fall victim to these kinds of things. So Rene, you've got 3 or 4 different things that are pretty common that you want to talk about today. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
All right, so one of the biggest scams that we've seen are, it's called grandparent scam. And what they'll often do is call and get a hold of an older person, and they will say, hello, Grandma, is that you? And the person will say, yes, Johnny, is that you? And that's the door that is open to give the scammer the name of who might be a grandchild. And then they'll play on the heartstrings of those grandparents by saying, Grandma, I'm on spring break in Mexico and I got into an accident. Please don't tell Mom and Dad. That's the worst thing you can do, is not tell Mom and Dad, because generally speaking, you're going to find that your grandchild is exactly where they're supposed to be, at college or at home, not in Mexico, not involved in an accident. But once they have that name of the grandchild, they're really able to play on the heartstrings of that grandparent, because what grandparent is not going to help their grandchild? So it's really important to know that they're trying to find a way to personalize this topic to the grandparent. And then oftentimes they'll ask for money to be sent via Western Union or via gift cards. They'll find a way to get you to possibly send money to them on the guise of the fact that they're helping their grandchild.
Okay.
So it's really important that if you get a call like that, to take the time to call your son or daughter and ask, where's Johnny at right now? And they'll say, well, he's in his bedroom. So it's really important just to ask that extra question of the family member who you think might be pretending to be calling about.
Right. And with that in mind too, I think it's important for all of us to educate those of us, our parents or grandparents, and let them know that these kinds of things are out there, and that whole thing about don't tell Mom and Dad is not something to obey.
Right, exactly. That's the one time you really want to take that effort to call that person and double check, because that's, I think anytime you have something that plays on your personal heartstrings, it just is very tough for those older people to ignore that.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. What else?
So another thing that we see a lot of is people calling saying there's been a crime committed using your Social Security number. And they have scammers that will call you and talk about this and say, oh yes, there's been a very serious crime committed and your social was involved, but we can help you if you send us money. They'll then ask that you send them money either through one of the money transfer services like Western Union, or they'll ask you to buy gift cards. They will then ask you to send them maybe a picture of the front of the card using your phone, or they'll ask you to scrape off the number on the back and call and give them that number. Once that number is provided to the scammer, the money is stripped off that card before you even hang up the phone. They are trying to get you to fall for that something's wrong and it could affect your Social Security benefits. That's not how it works. Social Security is not going to freeze your benefits on the guise of a crime being committed using your social. You'll probably hear from law enforcement before you'd hear from some scammer over the phone about that. So it's very important to not just jump at that thought that something's happened. Hang up and call your local authorities. Hang up and call DayMet. We will help figure out what's going on. I've never had a situation where one of these calls is truthful. We did have a situation one time where somebody came in and was trying to withdraw money because they thought their Social Security number was compromised, and they were going to send the money off in an envelope, and that could not be this worst possible thing to do is to send cash in an envelope, because there's absolutely no hope of retrieving it. So it's very important to think about what's reasonable. It's not reasonable that somebody from Social Security is going to ask you to send them cash in an envelope. That's just not likely at all. Like I said, you'd hear from law enforcement before they would ask you to do something like that.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good info.
Yeah. And then
We got another one.
Yeah, utility bills or any kind of collection notices. Anybody that is going to call you and say you're behind on your utility bill, they're not going to ask you to go buy a gift card and send them the numbers off of it. Specifically, like one of the ones I've heard is like send me an iPhone card.
iTunes gift card?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody at DP&L or whatever need an iTunes gift card to pay your bill? It's just not realistic. But anytime there's any inquiry that would revolve around asking for a gift card to pay a bill or a gift card to settle something, it's just truly going to be a scam, because nobody's going to use that in the billing department of a utility company to satisfy your bill. It's just that thing that, like, if it doesn't sound right, stop and ask why. If it doesn't sound right, call DayMet and talk to somebody. They can get you through to me if you have questions about something like this. I'm always available to answer questions to help protect you, because that's part of what I'm here for. And I really think it's important that you know that the people here at DayMet are here to help you at a time when somebody's trying to take advantage of you.
Right.
Some of these scams happen more to the elderly than the younger folks, and that's because they assume that the older people have more money to try and take advantage of them. The one thing I'll say is that it's really hard, because sometimes when they are getting caught up in the cycle, they can end up spending all the money that keeps them putting food on the table and getting their medicine and stuff. So it's very important to not, fall for something that might affect your ability to pay your bills or get your medicine or put food on your table. Those folks are not caring about what you're left with.
Right.
A scammer will take every last penny and not think twice about it, and that's what we're here to help stop, is to make sure that you're not taken advantage of that way.
Yeah, and I think another thing too with some of these utility scams that are out there is that if you get a call from a utility company and you're thinking as you're talking to them on the phone, something just doesn't feel quite right, hang up the phone and call the actual utility company back directly and speak with somebody that way and find out, did someone really just call me, or was this possibly a scam?
Right. Whenever possible, if you get a call from someone like, and I know they just changed their name, but I still only call them DP&L. I don't know what the new name is. But if you get a call from them and they say you're behind on your bill and you're not, like Jamie said, hang up the phone, get a hold of your last billing statement and call the number on that billing statement. It's very important that you find that number on something you already have. I know most people don't have, phone books anymore, but when you Google a number, you may end up Googling a false number. And there is a lot of technology out there now that was not around 10, 15 years ago, where people can do what's called spoofing a call. And when they spoof that call, they make it look like the caller ID says it's coming from DP&L, but it's really somebody in another state or possibly another country that has made the phone number look that way. Mm-hmm. So anytime you see something on caller ID that doesn't make sense when somebody's calling you, if you don't know who it is, let it go to voicemail. If it's a legitimate call, they're going to leave you a voicemail. If it's not legitimate, you're going to be able to find a number in a source that you have access to, and you can then turn around and call them and talk to them versus listening to the person who's called you that maybe doesn't even sound like somebody who's in this country, because there are a lot of scammers that are participating in scams from overseas. So it's very important that you take the time to find a resource and a phone number that you can call and verify. But again, that person's likely going to ask you to pay that utility bill or whatever debt they say you owe using gift cards, and that's just not practical. No legitimate company will ask you to pay using an iTunes gift card. That's just not going to happen. Right. But again, we're here to help anytime that you have questions, and we'll just phone call away or stop in the offices, and we can help you through these things.
And also, if you have any basic questions to ask about scams or ID theft and you want to post your comment below this video, we will answer your comments online. So feel free to do that. Renee, any other last minute things that you didn't get to?
If you see something, say something. I know we talk about that in all different areas of society today, but if you have a friend or family member who's older that something just doesn't seem right, and you're not sure how to help them, it's okay to ask for help. You know, if you see something happening with their finances that you think is not right, call us, because we can take a look at things and see what we can do to help your loved one. Last thing we want to do is not have you have a resource or a way to get help, but we're here to help you in any way that we can. And, you know, it's always good to have those conversations with the older family members or friends in your life, that there are all types of scams out there, but there are also people here to help them.
Yep, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, if you all have questions, feel free to give us a call. Ask for Rene. She is so good at this stuff. And she's your resource here at DayMet to answer any questions that you have. But otherwise, post it below, and we hope you all enjoy the rest of your week.
Have a great day.